Good afternoon. Good afternoon. My name is Reverend Dr. Jeff Hood. I'm coming to you this afternoon to talk to you about an impending execution in Oklahoma. You see, Benjamin Cole is scheduled to be executed on October the 20th, 2022. I wanted to begin by telling you a little story. You see, a number of years ago, I don't know how many people have experienced some of the same things that I've experienced, but I can tell you a number of years ago, back when I was a young man, a child, I used to love playing a video game called 007. I don't know if any of y'all like to play 007, but I loved it. I used to play with all of my buddies. I used to play with all my friends. We used to just, have tournaments and, all kinds of stuff. We could play that video game all day long. Now, I don't know if it's the same one that Benjamin Cole was playing when the atrocity happened, but I do know that I love the game, but I never found it to be as gripping as to allow what happened with Benjamin Cole to allow that to happen to my child. You see, on December, excuse me, on December the 20th, 2002, at Benjamin Cole's home in Claremore, Oklahoma, he was playing 007. And he was obviously catatonic on it because his daughter, Brianna Cole, started crying, and he was so upset that she was disturbing his video game that he went to her crib and bent her so far backwards that he snapped her spine and tore her aorta. I have no idea what would cause someone to do such a thing. I enjoyed 007, but I didn't enjoy it that much. I can promise you that. I think a lot of people enjoyed the video game 007, but I can promise you they didn't enjoy it that much. You see, after Cole snapped little Brianna Cole's spine and tore her aorta, he went back into playing that video game 007. She was 9 months old. 9 months old. There is no question that this is a horrific crime. It is a disgusting crime. It is unbelievably evil. And truth be known, it would take an unbelievably disturbing human being to commit such a crime. Benjamin Cole was sentenced to death for this crime. If the story ended there, it would certainly be evil, but there are a few nuances. You see, at his trial, Benjamin Cole was diagnosed with paranoid schizophrenia. Since his trial, he was diagnosed with paranoid schizophrenia. The truth is that before his trial, during his trial, up until this point, Benjamin Cole has suffered from mental illness and mental incapacity. I mean, you would have to do such an evil thing. To do that to your own child, you would have to. Well, he's only got worse since then. He's got a brain lesion. His paranoid schizophrenia has gotten worse. And at times, he is largely catatonic. You see, this is a shell of a human being. In fact, I think you could say that Benjamin Cole's mental health, his mental ability, is so disturbed, is so compromised that he is essentially non-functional. It would be interesting if the story ended in that place, because that's interesting enough that here we have this person that's about to be executed who committed this evil, horrific, disturbing crime, who all of a sudden we find out that has all of these mental incapacities. Obviously, one would have to have mental incapacities to commit such a crime. But we have this juxtaposition that creates this interesting narrative in and of itself, a narrative that should be compelling enough for this person to receive clemency, for an appeals court to rule that this person is incompetent to be executed. Well, I can speak directly to Benjamin Cole's incompetence because about a few days ago, I actually had the chance to speak with Benjamin Cole. The conversation that I had with Benjamin Cole, now while I'm not a psychologist, it was almost as if the moment he got on the phone, he had no idea why he called me. Of course, I answered because I was thoughtful, expectant, perhaps even, assumed that this was someone who needed a spiritual advisor, who needed someone to help in the way that I help a lot of these guys on death row around the country. Well, we began the conversation with, again, him not necessarily knowing why he was talking to me. I explained my name, I explained who I was, and repeatedly he told me, "Who are you?" Or he asked me, "Who are you?" Repeatedly, he had trouble deciphering who I was. Further than that, it was very clear to me that Benjamin Cole didn't necessarily know that he was supposed to be executed on October the 20th. He was telling me that October the 20th was the day in which he would have some proclamation that he was either with the Messiah or he was the Messiah. He was claiming all of these messianic ideas that I was, quite frankly, having trouble keeping up with. He kept shouting Bible verses at me here and there, which, if any of us who have grown up in evangelical spaces is not interested in being shouted at with Bible verses, I can assure you of that. We finished the conversation, completed the conversation with him telling me that, that everything was going to be fine. That everything was just going to be, perfect, blissful, and all these things. He kept on talking about paradise. Let me make something very clear. As someone who has interacted with Benjamin Cole, this man is completely incompetent to be executed. This man has no idea why he is being executed. He certainly is going through times where he doesn't know. And when he talked to me, it was very clear that he didn't know why he was being executed. He didn't know that he was going to be executed. He assumed that this was a messianic moment for himself, that he was going to be lifted up as some sort of Messiah. And yet here we are, wanting to execute someone like this, wanting to kill someone like this. The state of Oklahoma should be ashamed of itself. Killing Benjamin Cole is not going to bring Breonna Cole back. It's not going to bring back this poor child who was the victim of a horrible, disturbing, evil crime. Again, make no mistake, Benjamin Cole murdered his daughter because he wanted to play a video game. Again, surely someone would have to have a complete inability to understand the consequences of what they are doing to do such a thing. Here we are, 20 years later, and Benjamin Cole is about to be executed, and he don't even know where he's at. He is as helpless as Breonna Cole was when she was 9 months old. So what does that make the people of Oklahoma? That makes the people of Oklahoma no different than Benjamin Cole was in 2022. You see, they are prepared to execute a man that is largely helpless, a man who does not know where he is at, what is going on, who he is talking to, and what is coming. Shame on you. Shame on you. Shame on our society that we can't understand when people are hurting, when people are sick. Shame on us. You see, like Benjamin Cole, we are so preoccupied with what we are doing, what we are trying to accomplish, that we are willing to take the life of the innocent. Oklahoma, you are no different than Benjamin Cole. You are no different than Benjamin Cole. Now is the time to stop this execution. Now is the time to step back from the brink of death, to step back from the brink of execution, to step back from the death penalty and choose life. Choose life. Show Benjamin Cole the mercy and the grace that he was unable to show to his daughter. You see, this is how we make a better society. This is how we grow. This is how we find morality. This is how we find ethics. Again, I can speak from personal experience. This is a man that is completely incompetent to be executed, but we are competent as to whether or not we will choose to execute him.